Hello, my name is Mónica and welcome to Virtual Studios brought to you by the Taft Museum of Art and the Welcome Project. I'm from Honduras and I came to the US 2 years ago with my husband. He is a student at the University of Cincinnati. Right now I'm working on several projects. One of them is a children's book that my friend Adriana and I are working on. Adriana wrote the book. It's about questions and immigration, and I'm illustrating and designing the book. So right now we are working in the book. I'm sketching and designing and thinking about everything, and it will come out at the end of this year. And then we'll have some meetings with the children at the Cincinnati schools. We're going to try to show them how we made the book and why is it important. One of my past children's book is this. Is a Canción de la Noche en el Mar, Song of the Night at the Sea. Is a poem written by Rubén Darío, a Nicaraguan poet, and this was one of my first books. It was published in Nicaragua and now it's sold in many parts of Latin America, Spain, all places with Spanish-speaking countries. My process starts with sketches and they transform into something else after a process. You can see here how my process starts. These kind of drawings are very simple. They don't have much detail. I'm not thinking much about colors here. I'm thinking more of a message. So I try to convey a message with this first thought. I find inspiration in my own life, in my own surroundings, in my niece or my family. The children in my family inspire a lot of my work in children's books. Adriana and we met in the same year that I arrived. Adriana was the first person that I met. Our thoughts are very alike. We come from countries that have problems. We're both immigrants and we have had the same experiences. I was a teacher too, and Adriana was a teacher, and in your country you do your work, the one that you studied, and then you move to another country and you're new and you have to start all over again. So we felt that, but at the same time we felt the desire to do a project like the ones that we were making in our countries.
Soy Adriana Prieto Quintero. I'm a Venezuelan writer. In my home country, I studied education and literature. For many years, I taught children's literature and worked in my city's public library and wrote textbooks. I came to Cincinnati in 2017 with the goals of studying English, applying to a graduate program, and seeking new opportunities because my country is currently passing through a very difficult time. I met Mónica Andino. She is a wonderful Honduran illustrator who had come to Cincinnati for reasons very similar to mine. I think to write being an immigrant is sometimes harder because you have, at least in my case, to develop your projects when you are free and you don't have the same support that you have in your home country, like family, neighbors and friends. So it is always a challenge. Last year, Erica and Jay Allen invited us to create an exhibition with the Welcome Project. I was already familiar with the work they do, so for me it was a great honor to be invited to contribute to their gallery. For this exhibition, I wrote a poem entitled Cualquier cielo como refugio, any heaven as a shelter, and Mónica did the illustrations. Thanks to the invitation of Ina and Aaron, our work was also displayed at the YMCA during a collective exposition of female immigrant artists. Any Heaven as a Shelter is a poem inspired by all the people who, like Mónica and I, felt obligated to leave their country. often without knowing if they would find a place to live.
Any heaven as a shelter. Because I have lost my house, I think of what is it like to have a home, a place where the light is on, where a plate rests on the table, where there is a space waiting. Because I have lost my house, I think of those who continue to search for it. About those who don't abandon the desire to have a place to spend the night. I think of those who will not be welcomed ever, anywhere. Those who left bread and salt served on the table. Those who will never see again their home next to the river, the patio where it's always spring. Because I have lost my house, now I find a tree that gives shade, clear water that refreshes, a long embrace, the eyes of a friend, and heaven as a shelter.
The next thing we expect to happen, I don't know. I think that we will keep working on our projects. These are weird times, so I think that no one knows what is going to happen. But I have faith, and I think that things are going to get better, and you are part of the change, right? You can be the change that you want, and as long as you're working in it, I mean, something good is going to happen. After all, thank you.
Cualquier cielo como refugio. ¿Por qué he perdido mi casa? Pienso cómo es tener un lugar donde la luz esté encendida, donde repose un plato sobre la mesa, donde haya un espacio esperando. ¿Por qué he perdido mi casa? Pienso en quienes caminan en busca de ella, en quienes no abandonan el deseo de tener donde pasar la noche. Pienso en quienes no serán bien recibidos nunca en ninguna parte. Los que dejaron servidos el pan y la sal, los que no volverán a ver su hogar al lado del río, el patio donde siempre es primavera. Porque he perdido mi casa, ahora encuentro un árbol que da sombra, un agua clara donde refrescarme, un abrazo prolongado, la mirada de un amigo, cualquier cielo como refugio.